What's up, friends? I'm so excited to start properly vlogging again. I was really good about it up until about a year ago, and life happened, but jumping back in and wanted to start off with trying to get caught up with my pregnancy before it's over. I am currently 27 weeks pregnant, and I'm about to end my second trimester. So before I start my third trimester, I'm trying to get caught up. And so first I wanted to tackle my first trimester questions that you guys have been asking me throughout my entire pregnancy. I have been seeing them, I have been writing them down, and I'm going to go over every single one that I felt was helpful. And I just wanted to preface this by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pregnancy specialist. This is just me sharing my journey and what has worked for me personally. And everything that I say goes without saying that you need to consult your doctor, your physician, whoever you're working with. Everything that I have done has been approved by my doctors. And then I also have, used my common sense with a lot of things. So that being said, I'm going to tackle your questions one by one. I've got a kitty here, so if you see me going like this, it's this guy. So I wanted to start off with kind of try to go in order with how you found out you were pregnant. So funny thing is that, okay, this is actually going to answer two questions. How I found out I was pregnant, and did you and Kevin always know you wanted kids? So I feel like a lot of people pretty much know that Kevin and I had never planned on starting a family. So when we decided that we were going to start a family, we had been thinking about it for years. It was something that we were bouncing back and forth for literally at least 3 years. But the years prior to that, if you would have asked us, we would have been like, hell no, we don't want kids. But I think a lot of that kind of attitude stemmed from me personally, like the hard time I had growing up with my family, and also, we were not in a financial position to have kids. It was just not something that I've always wanted. I'm not that kind of girl that dreamed of a wedding and dreamed of a family. I've always been a very independent person and just kind of flying at the seat of my pants kind of, a lifestyle. So for me, I just never had that that feeling like I need to have kids like some people do. But that doesn't mean that you never will. So for me, a big part of me creating the life that I have created today, that a lot of you guys see me living out on Instagram and Facebook, there was this, I'm going to be completely honest, there was this underlying reason of leaving myself open to opportunities and leaving myself open to change, because I do know that people change, and I wanted to give myself the opportunity to have a family the way I wanted to have a family if I ever decided to have one. So even though we didn't want kids, I still wanted to create a life for myself that if I did change my mind, that I'd be able to parent and have kids and do the stay-at-home mom thing while also making a really great income in the process, being able to travel the world and all that. So what had happened was that Kevin and I checked off all of our bucket list items. We traveled the world for the last 5 years after I became a full-time coach, and we have lived all over the United States. We live on an island, and after doing that for so long, we kind of felt like we needed something more. We kind of felt like it was just a little empty, and I personally felt like I wanted to have more people to share it with besides social media, because let's be real, social media isn't a big part of my day today. It's just something I do for work. So it's just like you go to work, you leave work and you're done. Same with me with social. So for me, I wanted to have people to share everything that I was experiencing with. So that was a huge motivator for me to want to have kids, to be able to show them the world and be able to experience life with them. So we kind of went back and forth about it, and then we were like, we have had all the adventures we physically could possibly have. Let's take the biggest, grandest adventure of all, and let's start a family. So then the next question was, any tips for conception? And I will say that I started training for conception about a year before we decided to actually take the leap, before we decided to pull out the plug, when there was no plug really. I always get that question too, like, were you on birth control, blah, blah, blah. I haven't been on birth control since I was 25 because I really believe it's not healthy. And we've just been doing the pull-out method, which has worked great for us. And yeah, so a year prior to conception, I started doing one of the most strict programs that I have, and I was actually in the test group for it with the company that created it, Beachbody, and I did 2 rounds of that and a cleanse in between. Nothing that we have is like guaranteed anything, like products are not guaranteed to give you the same results they've given me, but I do know a lot of people who have done our 21-day cleanse and have gotten pregnant afterwards. One of my really great friends was having a really huge issue with conception, and she did our 21-day cleanse, and she conceived right away. And she gives credit to it, but of course we can't guarantee that these results will happen for everybody. But I will say that, you know, I was getting my body primed and ready to be a vessel to grow a human. So we decided to conceive around my birthday of March of this year, and basically I found out because my period was supposed to come, and I'm a very regular person, and we were in Mexico on one of the vacations that my company sends us on, and that entire weekend I was waiting to get my period, and it never came, which never happens. So, and my nipples were getting sore, so I was like, okay, I think it worked. I think we got it. I think on that, you know, that first go around, we were able to do it. And I don't like to use the word try. And a lot of people say we started trying, and I think that kind of language is negative. And I never tried to get pregnant. I got pregnant. You know, I planned to conceive, and I conceived. And I think that, you know, I started saying the word we started trying because everybody else was saying, well, just because you're trying doesn't mean you're going to get pregnant. And there was a lot of negativity around me conceiving on the first try, which I thought was really odd. But hey, this is my first venture into this world, and I didn't realize there was so much animosity around people who, you know, are able to get pregnant versus people who can't. So that was something that I definitely learned about around that time, my first trimester. So that was one thing that I was experiencing my first trimester, was a weird kind of backlash from people about being able to just get pregnant just because I wanted to, you know. So just be ready for that if you are somebody who is able to. And if you're not able to, you know, just remember that everybody has their own struggles in life, and that I think that we all need to respect everybody else's struggles, but also respect the fact that people can be happy and can celebrate and can live their life out loud. And if they're really excited and proud that they were able to, you know, make that happen without having to have any issues along the way, I think that people are more than welcome to be able to celebrate that and to celebrate publicly and not feel ashamed. So I just want to encourage you to be super positive and super happy, and don't let any negativity that other people are experiencing in their life cloud anything that has to do with, you know, your excitement and your happiness around what you're doing with your family. So that's how I found out. I got home and I literally took 5 pregnancy tests, and I started texting my best friends and my mother-in-law and my mom, and just letting everybody know I think it's happening. So, and then we went in to confirm it around 6 weeks, and we confirmed it. And then I think I announced it like the next week after we confirmed it with the doctor. So that was pretty fun. Another question is, can you drink Energize while pregnant? That is the all natural pre-workout that you guys always see me drinking in my Instagram story. So obviously it is safe to drink while pregnant. Again, consult your doctor, but my doctor said it's fine. It's interesting because I think a lot of people go caffeine free during pregnancy, and I personally chose to cut out coffee and to replace it with my pre-workout, since exercise is so important to me. And yes, during that first trimester, I needed it so bad. So, you know, it was actually the only thing that made me feel better. Somebody asked me about nausea, and how you were able to overcome exhaustion and nausea. I will say that like I was doing one of our workout programs that's only 4 days a week at the time, which I think is the perfect workout program for your first trimester. If you want to message me, I'd be more than happy to hook you up with it, but I think it's the best one because it's only 4 days a week and it's lifting and HIIT, and you'll get great results with it. And me personally, I didn't modify at all my first trimester, and I really don't think you need to modify. Again, consult your doctor, but like modification for me didn't really come until my second trimester, until I started to really, the baby started to get a lot bigger, and I had to start being mindful of diastasis recti and growing painful ligaments and back pain and those kinds of things. But that comes more, I felt like that kind of stuff came more with the weight of the baby than with actually being pregnant. I think when the baby is still a little tiny cell fetus thing, I really didn't feel like my body needed any modifications. I was going really heavy and going really hard straight up until my second trimester. If you look on my Instagram, you can see I posted videos on my Instagram. I have them in my stories all the way up for my first, like I've just been working out the entire time and going as hard as I can while listening to my body. So for first trimester, I personally didn't modify. I really don't see the need to modify in my first trimester. Again, a lot of people are very fear-based. I'm not a fear-based type of person. I just go with the flow. I just believe everything's gonna be okay, and that's just how I operate. And hey, you know, that's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's obviously it's been working for me. So yeah, so I personally felt that like exercise, like hydrate, energize, and exercise were like the on those days, on those 4 days that I got my workout in, are the days that I felt the best. And I will say that, you know, I do work from home, so I did have the luxury to like sleep late, get up, do my workout, and get back into bed. Some people work full-time jobs. I think that everybody's experience is different. I think that everybody needs to cater their experience, especially in your first trimester, to their own specific lifestyles. If you're working full-time as a waitress on your feet all the time, obviously like coming home and doing a workout is probably not going to be your jam. Me personally, I have a desk job. You know, I work from home. I sit at home and I help people on the computer and on my phone and my laptop and stuff like that. So I personally need to be working out and walking and swimming and doing a lot of active stuff. Oop, baby's kicking right now. Or hiccuping. Can't tell the difference. And, you know, and I do remember, like, you know, some weeks I would sleep all day. Like on Saturday when my work week was over, I would literally sleep all day long and just lay in bed all day long and sleep. I was so exhausted, but I still got in that, you know, that workout 4 days a week because I refused to just stop working out. I did not want to have to pick up the pieces from just completely stopping working out, and also working out made me feel better. So I know getting started can feel like impossible or really hard, but that pre-workout, man, I'll put a link for it in my comments. It was a lifesaver, and it is all natural. There's no additives. It's not full of all that scary shit that you find at some of these, you know, at these sports performance places and the mall and shit. It was really exactly what I needed, and all the caffeine comes from like plant-based sources and it's completely plant-based, and it was approved by my doctor. So of course get it approved with your doctor first. I personally also, how did you deal with boob pain? I personally don't have boob pain. So the only sensitivity or any pain I have been in really is my lower back, and I've been seeing a chiropractor for that, and I was seeing a holistic doctor who was doing acupuncture on me in my first trimester, but I've since moved. But there are some pressure points behind your head right here at the base of your skull that you can put pressure on to help with nausea, and he showed me that. And if you go to an acupuncturist, they can actually put needles in there and try to help you with the nausea, and it really helped me a lot. So I would definitely like work your pressure points and drink a lot of water. Another thing that I noticed in my first trimester, I was getting very inflamed and bloated, and I was getting cellulite, which has since gone away. My body has regulated a lot, but drink so much water, you guys. Like, drink more water than you think you need, and then some. So, and then, okay, so this is one that I know a lot of you guys want to know about, is how did I combat unhealthy cravings. And so how I combated unhealthy cravings was that I didn't have, here's the deal, I didn't have cravings in my first trimester, and I don't know that we have cravings. I think that's the wrong word, and I really hate the word cravings. I personally found that I was gravitating towards food that gave me comfort. Back in, like, you know, when I was in high school, or in my early 20s, or when I was younger, I was more looking for comfort food. And I since I'm sober, I was able to really see that, like, the nausea, what I was craving for my nausea was more like food that would coat my stomach. So, you know, when you're hungover and, like, you just want to eat fried food and carbs because it coats your stomach and it makes you feel better, I had this same kind of feeling that I used to get when I drank. And I've been sober over 10 years now, so I was able to be like, oh, this feels like that. You know, I don't have these feelings anymore, but a lot of people still drink, so I guess they can't differentiate the you know, from cravings to comfort food to trying to, like, you know, make your body feel better and stop that nausea. So I'm going to be completely real with you guys. In my first trimester, I just threw all the rules out the window. You know, I wasn't concerned at all with aesthetics. I was just trying to get in enough calories to be able to do those 4 workouts a week and to be able to grow this baby. That was all I cared about. I will say that, like, you know, the weirdest thing that happened in my first trimester, and this is how Kevin knew I was pregnant before we actually took my pregnancy test, was the words that came out of my mouth. Like, I actually said, McDonald's French fries sound really good right now. And Kevin literally almost crashed his car, because I am so anti-fast food and so anti, you know, I won't eat that shit. And I haven't eaten it my entire pregnancy, but the fact that I even wanted it was like, I think you're pregnant. Because it was the weirdest thing. And I will say that I've tried to find healthier options for these kinds of cravings. So that is something that you can do. Like, if you're craving French fries, maybe don't go for McDonald's fries. Maybe make some home cooked, you know, French fries mixed with, like, and have your favorite dipping sauce, you know, or whatever. But I think for me also, like, there was some days there where I was just eating saltines, and you know, and I will say veggies and all types of protein, animal protein, grossed me out. I couldn't look at a salad. I couldn't look at chicken. I was eating a lot of avocado and hard-boiled eggs on top of rice cakes. That was really working for me. And I will say that my savior was Shakeology, because the fact that I was eating such low quality foods and foods that were so, like, not nutritious, I felt so much better as a mother to be and somebody who is making a life, knowing that I could hide so much stuff in my Shakeology, and that everything that was in the Shakeology was going towards my body. And I really do think that the reason why I didn't have to, like, have as an extreme reaction in my first trimester as I see a lot of people having, is because I still kept those nutrients going, those probiotics, those adaptogens. I haven't gotten sick my entire pregnancy, where I have seen some other people get sick throughout their pregnancies, and I haven't gotten sick at all. And I've traveled the world. I've been to Europe, I've been to the West Coast. I've been traveling almost every month, and I still have not gotten sick, even with all the airports I've been in. And so I was able to put, like, my Udo's oil in my shake. I was able to hide spinach in there. I was able to put collagen peptides, which is really good for your joints and your bones, and for the development of, like, you know, all of it was so good for the development of this baby. And in your first trimester, you're just trying to eat something. So for me, also having that, I never had sugar. I didn't have any ice cream. I didn't have any junk, because I was drinking my Shakeology, and I was feeling really good about that. So I will say that, like, that has been the #1 savior for me when it comes to this pregnancy, knowing that, like, I can sneak so much stuff in that Shakeology, and it also tasted so good, and it was so cold, and it coated my stomach, and it was really just really great for me, and really nutritious. And I've stayed regular my entire pregnancy. I haven't dealt with any constipation, and I do also think that has a lot to do with Shakeology. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that too. Check with your doctor, but it was cleared with mine. And honestly, like, the first OBGYN that I had that cleared all these things, she didn't even know what they were. Like, doctors don't even know what they are. They just tell you, in my experience, like, the only reason why she was like, well, I don't know if you should have all this is because I don't know that it actually does anything. You know, this hasn't been scientifically proven to like do anything. And it was just a very like Western response. And I was just like, you know what she's talking about. I know it's good for me. How to have energy. So you got to also, like, you guys, like, you can't just like conjure energy. Like, you're making a human, you're making a baby, you're making a life. And I know in your first trimester it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but once you start to like really feel the baby and see the baby and like you know that there's a baby in there, your first trimester it's kind of a lot of like, what the fuck, you know, because your body's not your own anymore, but you really don't make the association that there's also something else growing in there. Which is really bizarre to think about, that there's literally a human inside me right now. It's like aliens. But sleep, recover. Like, don't be afraid to sleep, you know. And if you have to work a full-time job, then you may, you know, something that I do when I like was really exhausted and I had to show up for my team and I had to show up for team calls and I had to like, you know, obviously like continue to work my business. I couldn't just stop working my business. What I like to do is I like to take a big mason jar of ice water and I like to put in like 1/4 of a scoop of Energize. So 2 scoops is a serving. It's 200 milligrams, which is the allotted amount of caffeine that you can have in a day. And so usually I do 1 scoop. And so but you can have up to 2 scoops. So usually I do 1 scoop because I leave another scoop for that, like just in case I need extra energy boost. And I just take 1/4 of a scoop of water and mix it around in a big thing of, or 1/4 of a scoop of Energize and mix it around in a big thing of water and sip it throughout the day. So if you are at work and you need to have energy, instead of drinking coffee, which for me personally makes me crash, makes me thirsty, dehydrates me, stains my teeth, I'm not the biggest fan of coffee. I would prefer to hydrate. You can even put a scoop of the Beachbody Performance Hydrate in your water bottle. Put 1/4 of a scoop of Energize in there as well, and that's going to keep you hydrated. It's going to give you a little pick-me-up, and you can drink that throughout the day. And if you divvy out your, you know, your scoops, you could do 1/4 of a scoop, you know, around 2 o'clock when you like get the energy dip, and then you put the other half a scoop in your after you fill it up, and that way you're also drinking a lot of water, which is really what you want to do. So I got asked about parenting books. You guys, okay, this is for my first trimester. First trimester, why would you be reading parenting books? Like, the baby is not coming for like 9 months. And even then, you're going to parent a newborn? You're going to parent a 1-year-old? You're just got to feed them and love them at that age. Like, I am not the kind of person that's going to be reading parenting books. I'm just telling you this right now. Like, I'm not raising my kid according to what other people think is right for my kid. I know exactly what to do to raise a really awesome human. And honestly, you guys, like, the only thing that I've read and I started reading for this entire pregnancy is Ina May's Guide to Childbirth and about how to have a natural birth, mindset around birth, information on what is actually going on in my body, scientific information. I'm going to start reading about vaccines soon because that's something I got to start thinking about. And I'm going to start doing my hypnobirthing. That's it. I really don't see the point in reading anything else. So yeah, don't oversaturate yourself with information. Enjoy this time and just really just like connect with your baby. Something that you can do, a really great meditation, is sitting and like doing your diaphragm breathing, and while you're doing it, say, healthy baby, happy baby, loving baby. Healthy baby, happy baby, loving baby, and rub your belly. Because that's all you want. That's all you need is that. Health, happiness, love, and that's it. Like, you don't need anything else. Your baby doesn't need anything else. Okay. So did you have morning sickness? Yes. Who doesn't? And I don't know why they call it morning sickness, because it's all day sickness, and everything that I just mentioned before is how I dealt with it. It's not going to go away. And some people, it doesn't go away their entire pregnancy. I'm just really grateful that literally the second I hit my second trimester, it was gone, and I started getting my energy back, and I started feeling alive again. I started feeling literally amazing right a second to my first trimester ended into my second trimester. And I just been feeling better and better and better as this goes on. As my second trimester has gone on, I've been feeling better and better and better and more myself, and being able to even eat healthier and healthier and healthier, and redeem a lot of that first trimester shit. I mean, I was like on an Outback kick, and I just went like off the rails. And honestly, you guys, like I still, even though like I would eat things that weren't typically what I would eat or within my meal plan, I still kept it some simple rules, which were to keep it whole foods, keep it healthy, like whole foods. I think just like keep it as a whole food, no sugar. So I've had maybe 2 or 3 desserts my entire pregnancy, and I think most of them were in Europe. I had a couple bites in this last vacation I went on with my friend. So sugar to minimum to not at all, and when I say sugar, I mean like the white stuff. Ice cream, candies, junk. Like if it was like I didn't eat any junk, but I allowed myself to have a lot of freedom, you know, eat a lot of things I wouldn't normally eat that didn't fit any specific guidelines, and it was really fun. And now I'm in my second I'm ending at the end of my second trimester, and I'm starting to feel more like, okay, you know, like I'm in this test group now for this new program, Transform 20, that is launching around Christmas, and I'm rededicated to eating 100% clean, and I'll probably have some fun during the holidays, and then I'm gonna have this baby and get back on track. So I got a plan. I always got a plan. So somebody wanted to know, did my strong sense of self remain high? And I have really found that like in that first trimester, I've always, I mean, like, I don't know. I really feel like I always will remain my strong sense of self. I think that's really great example to have for my child. Again, like I definitely allowed myself to sleep more and to eat things and to have more freedom than normal. But the second that all of those symptoms went away, I stopped the excuses. I think it's really easy to continue like the first trimester crap into the second and third trimester when it's not even there anymore, you know. But there are some people who they feel like shit their entire pregnancy, and that's, you know, that probably leads to a lot more weight gain, which if it gets them through the pregnancy, gives a fuck. You will have plenty of time to work that off, you know. But in my experience, I personally only had that first trimester, and then it went away, and I literally had no excuses. I literally have no excuse anymore to be eating that way. So I stopped. But Pirate's Booty was something that I was eating like every single day. So yeah, like, you know, and I just want you guys to know that like you don't have to be perfect, and it's not about being perfect, and your body will regulate and knows what to do. And I've never once obsessed about the number on the scale or what was going on in my body. I knew that my body would do what it was supposed to do as long as I was making sure that I was drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, not putting junk in it. And, you know, just really trying to make, when I did make those choices, trying to make better choices, you know. If I wanted mac and cheese, you know, instead of reaching for some like, you know, baked mac and cheese, that, you know, maybe I just went and had some like organic Annie's mac and cheese or something, and didn't eat like a whole bowl, maybe just ate like a good little portion size, you know. Like it doesn't have to be crazy to be fulfilling, you know, and to get the job done. And I will say that the hardest thing about my first trimester was having to let go, and was having to just allow myself to just have grace throughout the entire experience, and to not get down on myself every time that I had to call in sick, which means like I couldn't show up for a Zoom call or something with my team, or to allow myself to say no, and allow myself to, you know, just be selfish, in the sense where like I needed to be selfish so I could be selfless, if that makes sense, you know. I think that the reality of the situation was, you know, hitting me, but we were also like moving, and I was traveling, so there was a lot of stuff that was keeping me going, you know. But at the same time, I think the hardest thing was just really letting go of the freedom that I had. But I was also like, throughout the hard times, like I was like so emotional and so grateful that like I did this, that I took the plunge and I made the leap, and I decided to do it, because The whole process has been such an incredible transformation, and has been, you know, I never understood what people were saying when they were like, oh, pregnancy is like, you know, this rebirth or whatever. I never quite understood that. But what I understand about it now is that, you know, this kind of, you lose your sense of self, but you get it back in an even better way. And I can't explain that except for the fact that, like, I no longer cared so much about like what I look like, and what I was like, how successful I was being or whatever. And I kind of got this like sense of freedom that I didn't have before, because I only cared about like my little inner circle that I was building. And then now I have this world that is kind of expanding, and I really think there was a lot more positive things, even though I felt like crap going on spiritually, than bad negative things, you know. But the hard things are, you know, not being able to eat the food that I wanted to eat. You know, like that sucked. Like, I love eating healthy, and not wanting to eat healthy food was a little odd, and it was a little confusing. I didn't know what to eat. So I think the hardest part was really just like the food aversions and having to navigate around those. But I did my best, and I forgot the rest, and now I'm here, and I can't wait to do my second trimester video with you guys. And I hope this was helpful. If it was, please share with people, tag your friends, like this video, comment below, tell me, you know, your experience in your first trimester, how far along you are, how many kids you are. I'd love to hear about you. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who was so kind and so supportive of me my first trimester, because being pregnant is hard, but being pregnant with such a large following is even, I want to say it's harder, but it was odd. It was really weird. So thank you so much for all of you guys who like did nothing but support me. I really appreciate that, because it, you know, it makes me want to share more with you guys and want to help people more, knowing that there are really awesome, supportive, positive people out there. So thank you so much, and I look forward to making more videos as I continue on this journey. Bye, you guys.